We can do the hour.
Welcome everybody. I'd just like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. It's a great joy and a blessing to welcome Swami Ramakrishna back to Sydney. It's something very rare these days. As we know, Swamiji is one of Amma's most senior disciples. He first met Amma in 1979, some 46 years ago, and since that time has dedicated his life to Amma's teachings and selfless service. Also, the main purpose of Swami's visit to Australia was the inauguration of the Amrita Hall and Cafe at the Melbourne Ashram. This marks a significant development in the evolution of Amma's Australian ashram. There was a special program there on the 30th of April, and Swamiji will be going back on the 18th of May for a concluding program there. Tonight will be the first of two programs. We have the retreat tomorrow. We already have quite a good number of people booked, but if you still want to register, it's not too late to register for that. If I could just make a request for people to turn off their mobile phones too would be. And so again, welcome everybody and welcome Swamiji. I just wanted to welcome Swami up, I forgot about that, and Vivek who's here also, and they'll be involved in facilitating the retreat tomorrow as well, so welcome.
Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sachat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma Tvameva Sarvam Amriteshwari Ma. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. My humble pranams to all of you. Amma asked me to convey her 11 blessings to all of our children here in Sydney. So I just want to convey that at the outset. May you all be showered with Amma's blessings. I heard it's an election day today. And it's not a nice day to have a program. But having arranged the program, I think they didn't want to cancel the program. Anyway, I'm happy to see so many of you. And, during right after the COVID period, most of the devotees that came to see Amma, there are so many problems in their life. First time in my life, I'm hearing so many problems. I hear problems, of course, but after COVID period, there was such a number of terrible cases, very sad instances in the families. So, unanswerable questions, unsolvable problems are there in everyone's life. But going through them with a smiling face is a talent that we all need to acquire, isn't it? Going through those unanswerable questions and unsolvable problems, probably that constitutes the success of our life. One of the saints in India, he said that this life, human life, is a tapas. Tapas means penance. It's a tapas to reach God. So there will be, in Sanskrit, tapaha means heat. Heat. When there is something happens in our life which we don't like or which we don't want, naturally it creates agitation in our mind. It creates heat in our mind. Heat. So tapas, in other words, by concentrating on his goal, God or whatever he is focusing on, that concentration will also create heat in his body or her body. So tapas essentially means heat. So this life given to us by God is also tapas to reach God. So that was evident for me after the COVID period. But so many problems in each house. That was the time when the husband, wife and family members were all together for a long time. They couldn't go anywhere. Did you have the lockdown here? Yeah, so lockdown. Nobody could go anywhere. So there's a lot of lessons that we have learned from COVID, during COVID period. So that was the time when I heard so many problems. And now, of course, now we all got used to that now. So it's like a rebirth for many of us. We learned so many lessons from our life. So if you want to walk with a smiling face through all these problems, you need talent. So for that, the scriptures give us certain basic spiritual instructions, spiritual knowledge to gain. Now, generally we can divide the whole creation into two. Generally, on a general basis, we can divide the whole creation into two. One is me and everything that is other than me. There are only two things, me. And then any other thing that is not you. So me and other things. Basically, our whole life is interaction between me and things other than me. Simple. Me and other than me. It can be a person, it can be objects, it can be situations. So right from the moment we wake up, our interaction starts, our relationship starts, our transaction starts till we go to bed. So if we know how to relate to each person, how to relate to each object, how to relate to each situation, then life can be more peaceful than now. That's a simple spiritual truth given by the scriptures. Of course, there are many different instructions, but this is one of the instructions. How to go through the different situations, ups and downs of life with a smiling face is to learn to relate to each and every person, each and every object that we use, and each and every situation that comes up in our life. So Amma also talks about it very lucidly. She talks about in her own by giving village examples, she always talks about that. A person who knows swimming, he can enjoy swimming in the ocean in spite of the huge waves. But a person who doesn't know swimming, even a small wave can scare him away. So in life, if we learn the art of how to face the vagaries of life, it will make our journey easier. That's what Amma always says. Because see, when you build a house and move into the house, you have taken all the precautions that put the house in difficulties. Maybe a fire accident can happen. So you take insurance, fire insurance, and you have firefighting equipments. So when you gain something, you are already devising methods to prevent the loss of that house or object, whatever you are buying. So you take an insurance. Even for life, you take insurance. Knowing that anything can go wrong. So we take the precautionary measures, is it not? Am I correct? As Murphy says in one of his laws, if something can break down, if a vehicle can break down, it will break down. If it doesn't break down, thank God. So when we buy a house, we make sure that we have all the precautions. If a fire happens, we get the firefighting equipment ready, insurance is ready. Similarly, we are not doing that for everything that we acquire in our life. Suppose we buy an object, I like that object very much, maybe a high-priced gadgets or something, a high-priced car or whatever it is. We are happy to get it, but we are not preparing ourselves to face a situation when something happens to the car, isn't it? Just an example. So many, in the house and other cases, we take for health, we take health insurance, all these things we are taking. But in certain things in our life, we don't think about how can we handle if something goes wrong with that. So that time we are not able to face the situation. So when you gain something, you always think about, okay, something happens to this object that I have gained. So if I think like that and I prepare my mind, then something happens to the object, I will be able to handle the situation easily without undergoing emotional turmoil. So in the present situation, if an object that I like the most, if it breaks down, I also break down. Because I am not able to handle it. I never thought about that. Similarly with the relationship, I remember one more funny incident. A man came to Amma and then said he loves a girl, but that girl does not love him so much, but he is so much in love with her. He said, Amma, I cannot live without her. I cannot live without her even for a moment. Somehow Amma made it possible that he got married. And after 5-6 years he is coming to see Amma. He said, Amma, he was in tears. He says, Amma, I cannot live with her. Previously, I cannot live without her even for a moment. Now he said, I cannot live with her for a moment. So he was so happy, he forgot to take precaution. If something goes wrong with the relationship, how can I deal with it? That precaution he has not taken. Similarly, in many things, we don't think about, okay, what will happen if I happen to lose this object, or something wrong happens to the object, how can I deal with it? That kind of preparation is not necessary. Knowing the nature of the objects, Amma says that preparation is necessary. Amma gives a beautiful example in a bird perched on a dry twig. It will peck the worms from the tree, it will sing, and even if a small gentle breeze blows, it will be ready to take off, because it knows that dry twig will not give it full support, so it will be ready to fly at any moment. Similarly, we should keep our mind in that condition. Anything can go wrong with anything, any person, so I should be ready to take off. So that kind of preparation is what spirituality is advising us. So know the right way of relating to people, relating to the object, relating to the situation. When the COVID happened, the whole world was shut down. How many things Sama did in the ashram? More than 1,000 songs, new songs were recorded. More than 1,000 new songs were recorded. Amma encouraged each and every brahmachari in the ashram resident to compose a song and tune the song. And she was giving counseling over the phone to affected people. Brahmacharis were involved in giving counseling. And each brahmachari was supposed to give a speech, which many of them have never done in their life. Each one was supposed to give a speech. And then she was distributing rice and other essential commodities to different families during the COVID time. Actually, during that time, more activities happened than the normal time. That means Amma was so active, her mind is always clear, so she could find any number of options how to handle the situation, whereas many families suffered. I heard that many divorces happened during the COVID period because husband and wife and children were all together in one room or one small house. How long can a wife keep looking at the face of her husband? And how long can the husband keep looking at the the face of a wife? So all this problem came up. It was all there. It was waiting for the right opportunity to raise its head. Many fights happened. Children left home. This all happened during COVID. I don't know how the Australian devotees handled the situation, but I am talking about Indian devotees. Probably it's all the same everywhere, I think. Here you'll be talking in English, there talking their own language. So this was an eye-opener for us. So many people came to know the depth of other person's love. Now, we take everyone's love for granted, but it's not true. When the situation arises, things change. So we have to insulate our mind by understanding the spiritual principles. It's like a shock absorber in a car or a vehicle, the shock absorber. So likewise, definitely there will be many shocks in our life, so how to absorb that? Only by imbibing the spiritual lessons. It doesn't mean that we should not love anyone. Love is different from attachment. Our love is always as an element of attachment. Look at Amma, she loves everyone. She loves everyone, but there is no attachment. So attachment is detachment. But our love is totally attachment, because we are not able to analyze the nature of love. If you are able to analyze the nature of love, then you will be prepared. So it doesn't mean that we don't love other people. We love everyone, but we know the limitation of everyone's love, understand that, and then we love them. But we don't expect anything from them. So instead of taking it for granted, we know the limitations of everyone's love. So that is how we go through our life, so we are not unnecessarily disturbed. Why do we enter into a relationship? Why do we buy all these things? Just to be peaceful, is it not? Oh, if I have a car, I'll be peaceful. I don't need to walk, I don't need to take a bus, I'll be peaceful. But what eventually happens is, all these things that we acquire to be peaceful, they themselves are destroying our peace when something happens to them. So once we know the limitations of all these things, we can prepare our mind. So first, what is needed is intellectual analysis. Analyze, okay, in such a situation, what will happen if these things go away from me? What is the nature of this object? Are they going to be with me all the time? Either the object will go away from me, or I will go away from the object, isn't it? I have a beautiful house, and then my workplace is shifted, I may have to sell the house. So either the objects go away from me, or I will go away from the object. One of the two is sure. So you have that understanding. Even if the house goes away from me, I am not affected. I know this would happen. So you are preparing yourself. That preparation. So life is such a complicated thing that you need preparation. Without preparation, it will be very difficult. I was reading an article that in US, the number of depressed people are increasing by leaps and bounds. Because they don't know how to handle life. Selfishness has become so much that people don't find happiness in anything. India is far better because there is still some values. Some spirituality is there. Saints like Amma, Mahatmas like Amma are there. So they are able to give some mental strength to the devotees, to the followers. But unfortunately, it's not there in all the countries. So without blaming others, we have to prepare ourselves. That's what it is. You cannot change a situation. As Amma always says, never try to change a situation. It will be difficult. But rather than trying to change a situation, you change yourself. That is easy. Amma gives a story, once a king went for a walk around his city, huge park. He was going around and then it so happened that a thorn pricked his foot. So he was very upset. He called the minister, how can I let this happen to your king? You know that I was coming for a walk. You should have cleaned the path. Make sure that it was clean and well maintained. But now the thorn has pricked my foot. So he says, before I come for a walk tomorrow, again, you have to spread carpet all over the park. Imagine spreading the carpet all over the park in one night. It's not possible. It's a huge park. So the king, the minister knew he could not do that. And then, the punishment will be, he will be beheaded. That is the condition of those days, in those days. So king, the minister knew, anyhow I'm going to either lose my job or lose my head. So he mustered some courage and said, "Oh king, I have a suggestion. Instead of spreading carpet all over the park, why can't you just wear a pair of good shoes? Isn't it? That's the best solution. You have a pair of good shoes and you don't need the carpet. The shoes will protect you from the stones and the thorns." So similarly, instead of changing the situation, if we try to change our attitude, our understanding, it will be easier. So the Amma always talks about this. And look at her life. She didn't try to change the situation. There were 3 attempts were made in her life. 3 times someone tried to kill Amma. One time that she should stop giving darshan. That was from her own cousin. But Amma didn't stop. Now Amma has high security in India. After this new Prime Minister Modi ji came, became the Prime Minister, the government has given Amma high security, Z category security. There is only one more level of security higher than Amma's security. So Amma says, even if the security is there, I am hugging people. Anyone who wants to harm me can do it. But Amma doesn't care. You take like that anything. People were just scandalizing Amma. She didn't try to change them. She made sure that she is not affected by that. That much she can definitely do. We also can do. We cannot change the world, but we can make sure that we are not affected by those kind of things. That's what we see in Amma's life. She didn't go to any college. She didn't study psychology. Have to keep her mind in good condition. She didn't do that. That was because of the spiritual understanding. She gained that strength because of the spiritual understanding. So that is the only way out for us. to understand the spiritual truths. These are simple truths. So you learn to give exact value an object deserves. Don't give more value than an object deserves. You have a $10,000 shoe. You don't carry it on your head, oh, this is $10,000 shoe, I don't want to make it dirty. We wear it on our feet. You don't keep it in a nice box, no? Even though it's $10,000, what is the purpose? The purpose is to wear it on our feet. So you give that much importance only, not more important than what it deserves. So in fact, we are not doing that. We give more importance to an object than it deserves, and then you finally, we are not able to handle the situation. So spirituality tells us how to relate to other human beings. Don't have too much expectation from anyone. Okay, everyone has their own limitation. No human being can live up to your expectation. These are simple things. But it may sound a little harsh for you when I say this thing, but it is true. I'm not, this is not pessimism, nor optimism. This is realism. I'm trying to be realistic, not pessimistic or optimistic. This is the truth of life. So when you give, Amma beautifully says, try to see a frog as a frog, an elephant as an elephant. If you try to see a frog as an elephant, you will be disappointed. If you try to see an elephant as a frog, then also you will be disappointed. So try to understand the normal weakness of human beings and adjust your mind, adjust your attitude. So that way you will not be disappointed. This is simple truth, which will help us in a long way. Because of this kind of understanding, I have so many things that I have been too much attached to, I have been able to give up. So to that extent I am peaceful. To that extent I am peaceful. Of course Amma's help is also there. Similarly, you all have Amma's help. When you try to put in some of Amma's teaching, you can see the difference in your life. Especially after meeting Amma, so many of you have changed so much. Your attitude has changed so much towards the world, towards life. When you compare yourself with other people who have not met Amma or who have not been exposed to spirituality, you will see how much they are suffering. They are all better off. So what I want to say is just this simple truth. How you relate to the world, how you relate to the situation, how you relate to the objects. That's more important. That will help you to enjoy more peace. Does not mean that you are going away from the world or renouncing the world. I'm not saying that. There's no question of renunciation. It's a question of understanding the situation, understanding the facts of life. That's what's more important. And especially after coming to Amma, many of the families are moving to the ashram because they have done their duty. Their children are employed, they are married. So they now feel it's time for me to devote the rest of my life for God realization, for spiritual growth. So that's because of Amma's help that they got that maturity. They're coming to the ashram and spending time there, doing seva as much as they can. So that's how you grow spiritually. So this is what our purpose also coming to Amma. Of course, now we all have duties to do, but then after some time, this should be our goal. Slowly moving away from the world, because we have done our duty. We have to take care of our own Atman, our own self, our evolvements, the self-evolution. So that's Amma's purpose. By blessing each one of us personally, this is what she is expecting. That one day or other, we also will become mature enough to go towards God. So these are the things that is preventing us. These are the things, our attachment and wrong understanding, giving more value to things than it actually deserves. These are the things that is actually preventing our spiritual growth. Even though we may be meditating and doing other spiritual practices, whenever such things happen, then it disturbs our mind. Once your mind is disturbed, again to get into the state of peace that you have been enjoying already, it takes time. So we have to make sure that insulate our mind, that these things do not affect my mind. So that is understanding we all need, that's a maturity we all need. So Amma classifies people into 3 different types. One is Vikara Jivi, who are very emotional type. Second type is Vichara Jivi, who are intellectually inclined. And Viveka Jivi, people with discernment. People who are emotionally oriented, they get disturbed easily. Any small thing can disturb their heart and become emotional. It creates emotional turmoil in them. So they need to refine their emotions. We cannot afford to get emotional for each and everything. So they have to work out on their emotions. I'm saying about negative emotions, not positive emotions. Positive emotions are good. And then the intellectual people, they have no heart. They always look at things in an intellectual way. Sometimes when Amma gives darshan in foreign countries, there are many professors that come to see Amma. They read Amma's books, they see the video of Amma, what she's doing. They are all impressed. Oh, she's a nice woman, nice lady, compassionate lady, doing so many things, that's all. Apart from that, they are not able to see how Amma is able to listen to the problems of thousands of people every day, how she is able to give darshan for so many hours a day without getting sick, without even going to sleep, without going to eat, how she is able to do that. That's why they are not able to relate to. They say, oh, Amma is doing all these things good. That's all. So you need to have heart to appreciate these good things. They don't have that. Probably in their house also they may not be able to relate to the children properly. Children and wife. Amma gives a beautiful story. A child, maybe a 4 or 5 years old child, is drawing something and she takes it to her father. See, father, I have drawn a beautiful elephant. See how nice the elephant is. The father is busy with his work. He just looks at, it's simply you have scribbled a few lines here and there. There's no elephant, go away. The child starts crying. She is after all 3 or 4 years old child. And again she comes, no, I've drawn it, no, go away. The child is crying and she's not stopping crying. Finally the father understands. He goes to the child and says, oh, sorry, I was not wearing my glasses. You have drawn a beautiful elephant. Wonderful. He gives her some chocolates. So, initially he was thinking, oh, it's not lines. There's no heart in him. He is looking at that from the intellectual point of view. Buddhi. That's only lines. Who can say this is an elephant? But then he understands the child's maturity. She's a child after all. So he goes and tells the beautiful elephant, the child is happy. She says, oh, you understood me, Papa, you understood me very well. So there is no heart. People come to Amma, intellectual people, they see only things they see. Beyond that, they are not able to see. There is no heart. Amma says, scissors, she gives the example of scissors and needle. Scissors always cut the cloth into pieces. Needle unites them, isn't it? Needle. Similarly, heart and head should go together. That's what Amma is saying. The third type of person is Viveki. Viveki means a person with a discernment. He knows what is good for me, what is not good for me, what is temporarily good for me, what is temporarily not good for me, which will give me peace of mind, which will disturb me peace of mind. Viveki, discernment, he is able to see good and bad, useful and not useful. Those kind of person is called Viveki. So, from emotional to intellectual to discernment, we should grow. So that is a requirement needed for a spiritual seeker, the viveka, discernment. Anything that I have seen in my life so far has not given me real peace of mind, real happiness. So let me look for something that will give me more real happiness and real peace of mind. That is the attitude of a viveki or a person with discernment. So we are all into that state now. That's why otherwise we will not be here. Someone was telling me, today's election day, after voting they all will go for a party, drinking another thing. But you are here, so you have that viveka. Otherwise you would not be here. So that shows your evolution. So when I was talking about the emotional personality, intellectual personality and the viveka, I remember a story. One time a devotee came to Amma and her son is working in one of the Gulf countries. So he is also a devotee of Amma. Amma likes the boy very much. So Amma gives the baby, the lady, an apple to be sent to the boy. She is a teacher, a college professor. She is a college professor. So Amma gives apple to this lady, and then Amma says, give it to your son. So she said, my son is not here. No, I will give it to her. She said, my son is not here. No, you take it, give it to her. She still did not, she was not able to accept Amma's words. She still had some doubt. Then Amma said, okay, if you cannot send it to your son, you eat it. So she leaves, goes back home. And one other portion of her house was rented to another person, another family. So that family had gone to their hometown. And this lady goes back. She is from Madras, Chennai. She goes back. And the tenant has gone to their native hometown. After 2 days, a man knocks at the door and says he is a friend of the tenant who is living at the ground floor of their house. And he says that I missed my flight. He comes early morning. He missed his late night flight. He comes there. By the time the tenant also calls her, one of my friends, he missed his flight. So he will come and stay there one day. Please allow him to stay. So this man comes and knocks the door. Because they got the advance information, they allow this person to stay in the house. Next day morning he wakes up and then he gives the key back and she said, I got a reservation, I got a seat in the flight, I'm leaving. So she asked him, where are you coming from? He is coming from the same city where her son is working. In Saudi Arabia. I don't know the exact name of that one, Saudi Arabia. It so happened that his office and the devotee lady's son's office in the same street. And she asked him, can I take this apple? Give it to my son. This fellow was surprised. Take an apple from here, after all? If you give something else, some nice snacks or cakes, I can take it. Just an apple from here, take all the way to Saudi Arabia. She said, no, this is more worth than anything in the world, so please take it. He gets it next day. When Amma said that, she was doubting. Intellectually, it's not possible. My son is not here. I cannot send by post. They may not even deliver the apple to the boy by courier. So she was doubting 3-4 times. Amma understood that. Then she said, okay, if you cannot send it, you eat it. But it went to the right person. So that kind of intellectual thinking will not work with Amma. She is beyond intellect. It is with the grace that our intellect is working. If the grace is not there, intellect will not work. So with Amma, this will not work. only your open heart, your love for Amma will work. It's beyond intellect. Your open heart, your love, your surrender will work. Any other devotee would have immediately taken it. Somehow Amma will, because Amma had given this, she will find a way for this prasad to reach that person to whom it was intended for. So that kind of conviction was there. She was thinking, oh, it's not possible, because she is a professor. So with this kind of experiences and love from Amma, it becomes easy for her to cultivate this attitude. Because we see in Amma's life every day. So it's easy, we have a living example, it's easy for us to emulate that example. So our goal is like that. Whether we are interested to know God or not, I'm sure everyone would want to have a peaceful life. That is sure, isn't it? Whether I want to know God or merge with God, that's a different question. But as long as we live in this world, every one of us would want to be peaceful and contented. So for this kind of spiritual understanding is very much needed. So when you have a relationship with people or an object or in a situation, just understand the limitation of the situation or the person or the object, then you proceed with it. So you always have a provision. Some uncertainties in life, some uncertainties with these objects, uncertainties with this person. So you are creating a buffer space for you. It's not affecting you. That's what is needed. That's an intellectual way of living. That's an intellectual way of living. So that's how a viveki, a person with discernment, lives in the world. That is what is needed for our real spiritual realization. Viveka is needed. So may Amma gives this viveka to discernment to all of us so that we can prepare ourselves for any eventualities in life. Now, Amma's life is full of problems, isn't it? Amma's life, look at Amma's life, full of problems. Especially in those days. They mixed poison with the milk and gave it to Amma when she was in Krishna Bhava. And Amma drank it because Amma thought Amma should not upset, because the devotee did not know the poison was mixed in the milk. They gave it to Amma, Amma drank it. But afterwards she vomited it. If Amma had not drank the milk, the devotee would feel very upset. So just to make him happy, she drank it. But she knew, and after Krishna Bhava was over, she vomited it. But still she has not stopped helping people. If someone does this kind of harm to us, we will never go to help anyone. But Amma is helping more and more people. And she is inviting more and more trouble. But she doesn't stop. Maji, this is the world. Just as you say this is the nature of the world, helping people is my nature, so why should I change my nature? That's her argument. I'm not going to change my nature because other people are acting according to nature. I'm not going to change my nature. That's what she says. That is the ultimate wisdom, which is called para, the supreme knowledge. With that knowledge, you are never affected by anything in the world. It's like a butter in water. You put butter in water, it will float in water, but water never will contaminate the butter. So even though Amma lives in the same world that we live, nothing is affecting her, but everything is affecting us, isn't it? Anything and everything is affecting us. But Amma is not at all affected by anything because of our attitude. So attitude is more important in our life. We may have many talents, skill, but then attitude is not there. Our full potential cannot be realized. So for the attitude, you need to analyze things in a scientific way, try to know the nature, and then develop that attitude. So you can take the example of smoking. Some years back, so many people are smoking, millions of people are smoking. But once all the medical research revealed that it's very harmful to your health, even the hardcore smokers were able to leave that habit, quit that habit, because that analysis made them understand the truth, and then they developed detachment towards it, isn't it? So it's possible. Only thing we have to put our heart into that. Similarly, everything in the world, it has got its own limitations, so let us understand the limitation. It doesn't mean we have to hate those people or hate the situation or condemn those objects. It's not like that. I understand, then I live accordingly. I try to understand the truth of life, and then I adjust myself, so I have nothing to complain. So that's what Amma is expecting, changing the attitude. That's what Amma. So in order to change the attitude, analyze the situations, people and objects, and come to a conclusion and slowly go towards it. So that will help us in a long way. So with that attitude, you are able to maintain peace of mind to some extent. Then in such a situation, your spiritual practice will yield better result. That's the purpose of it. The purpose of maintaining a relatively peaceful mind is to get more concentration in our spiritual practices and reap more benefit of our spiritual practices. That's ultimate goal. May Amma help all of us to cultivate this attitude and enjoy a peaceful state of mind, so we progress towards our goal. Om Amriteshwari Namaha.